Sadiq Khan's City Hall blowing £366,000 on count them, six diversity officers. Now, I don't know whether they've got six so that they all represent a different group, because if that's the thinking, then that's not enough diversity officers.
Yes. Now, I hope that...
More than six groups of people.
I hope that diversity officers have a real diversity of thought. I hope we have some...
No, the diversity of thought doesn't count, does it?
I think it's important.
I think it absolutely should count. It never counts.
But you have to
Where
champion...
the BBC get it wrong.
You have to champion
diversity
every...
of thinking never gets discussed. Diversity of class never gets discussed.
But you have to champion every aspect of diversity. Otherwise, it's
just... Of course
just,
you do.
You know, sort of based on background alone. I mean, I wanted it to be that if they're asked about, you know, what do you think about Frank Hester, there must be one, at least, who would make even worse jokes.
Yes.
And then say, yeah, there must be others who could condemn it and say it's right. You know, get the real wedge issues in there.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that the reason I focus on that is because that's the mark of a healthier organisation, in which you don't box people in on backgrounds. It's merit. It just, you know, the happiest thing then could be, you know, if you have an open organisation that allows talent to rise to the top, rather than just saying, well, it's a very weird, slippery slope into sort of tokenism then. And sort of positive discrimination.
But it nearly always misses out class, which is an area that I feel really strongly about. I mean, I always cite this. The BBC, when they built White City back in the day, they said, look, here we are in lovely Shepherd's Bush. It's got huge estates around it, working class estates, a lot of young black kids who would never consider the media an option. They can all come and work at the BBC. Never happened. The only people that worked at the BBC, the only non-white faces, were non-white equivalents of the middle class, fairly posh, obvious candidate white people. So it didn't really work. So there was there was visual diversity, but not real diversity, if that makes sense.
Because then people rely on sort of old boys clubs and everything else. And, you know, at the same time, I suppose what we know is this. With City Hall, clearly they're trying to show, you know, in symbolism at least, they care about diversity. They want to be open to all. But it's much better to do that by, you know, well, making sure the actions match this. You don't just have to have people sitting there at desks caring about diversity. It has to run through the entire organisation. Because the last thing I'll say about this, on this, is if you just have six people and say, look at them, they're the diversity people, you imply no one else cares about it.
Yeah.